From R. Kelly bribing officials to marry a 15-year-old, to a billionaire turning his own victims into recruiters for $200.
He says that Epstein offered $200 a girl to bring new young girls to come to his properties.
To Robert Miller recruiting girls as young as 11 across decades and would never stand trial. Today, we are looking at the craziest stories of the wealthy abuser. Brace yourself for Pedo Millionaires versus Pedo Billionaires. This millionaire pedo lost 245 pounds eating sandwiches, became the face of a billion-dollar brand, filmed over 300 commercials, and then went to prison for 15 years for crimes against children. Yeah, it's Jared Fogle. You see, out of all the ways a man can throw away his life, few are as spectacular or as disgusting as this one. This dude started out genuinely inspiring, which, honestly, the world needed. Lost nearly half his body weight in college, got on TV, became a household name. Then his face was on every Subway cup in America. But then it completely unlocked something deeply, deeply wrong. He did what nobody in their right senses would ever do. Traded hundreds of child exploitation videos with Russell Taylor, the director of his own charity foundation. Videos of children as young as 6. The man built a non-profit organization for kids, and then used it as cover for a sickening obsession. But it doesn't stop there. This guy flew to New York, checked himself into the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and paid a 17-year-old for sex. Then he walked back out, caught a flight home, and kept filming Subway ads like nothing happened. But guys, once you see this next case, it becomes obvious no one is really paying attention to the pedos out there. You see, Fogle hid behind charity work, but not everyone bothers hiding. Some just use fame as the key and let the fans walk through the door themselves. Meet Ian Watkins, lead singer of Lost Prophets, and responsible for some of the most disturbing crimes a British court has ever had to sit through. Now the fans loved Ian Watkins. Lost Prophets sold out arenas, headlined festivals, toured across Europe and America. He had a fan base that would have done almost anything for a moment of his attention. What the hell could go wrong? 13 guilty pleas. That's how everyone found out what could go wrong. You see, Watkins stood in front of a court in Cardiff and admitted to attempting to rape a baby, abusing a 1-year-old, producing child pornography and encouraging fans to hand over their own children. And you know what? 2 of them actually did. One was 19, with a baby that had not lived for up to 1 year. This was basically a child nursing another child. Watkins told her, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." And guess what? She handed her baby to the creep. The prosecution called it the worst case of child sexual abuse they had ever encountered. What makes it even crazier? Warnings had been circulating since 2004. One ex-girlfriend, Joanne Miadzelic, spent years screaming about his disgusting patterns, but nobody moved a muscle until an accidental raid blew the whole thing open. In 2025, the rock star was stabbed to death while serving his 29-year prison sentence. All right, hit the subscribe button as we jump in straight to Millionaire Pedo. R. Kelly.
Do you like teenage girls?
When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
Girls who are teenagers.
19?
19 and younger.
I have some 19-year-old friends.
Bro was abusing minors in his 20s, and that's wild. You see, 3 things you should know about this Grammy-winning, multi-platinum selling singer are that he loves R&B, abusing women, and marriage. Yeah, bro loved marriage so much. You see, while R. Kelly was 27, he married a 15-year-old by bribing officials to falsely report her age as 18. That girl's name was Aaliyah. And guess what? He didn't start out when she was 15. This pedo shouted to her, "Little cute Aaliyah," on the track She's Got That Vibe, when she was only 13 years old. Insane, right? But that was in 1994. 2 years later, he marries 22-year-old dancer Andrea Lee. But the family man soon got sued by a girl called Tiffany Hawkins for emotional distress she suffered while having sex with him as a 15-year-old, and getting dumped when she turned 18 so he could marry Aaliyah. Remember, 15 years old. Kelly paid Hawkins $250,000 and made sure she couldn't say a word to the press. Weeks later, he walked onto a Grammy stage and won 3 awards for I Believe I Can Fly. Again, 5 years later, he is accused by a 17-year-old intern at Epic Records. But fans decided to believe the superstar, doubt these kids. Now, the accusations continued for 2 whole decades before he was finally charged for racketeering, sex trafficking, and the production of child pornography, and given a 31-year sentence. Dude really believed he could fly from the law. But you see, catching a billionaire with a crime is insanely hard because of the army of lawyers on their payroll. Like when Leon Black was accused of raping a 16-year-old girl in 2002. He didn't win the case by providing evidence that he didn't commit the crime or even disproving her claims. He got the judge to dismiss the case on the grounds that it was filed too late. Plus, she signed an NDA not to speak about certain things. That's it. Not, I didn't do it. Just, you shouldn't be talking about what I did or didn't. Case closed. Which is absolutely insane because we are talking about rape here. Oh, by the way, I know you are itching to get to the billionaires because this next millionaire pedo is something else entirely and might get some religious folks seriously triggered. Now, outside the multi-billionaire Les Wexner, who financed Jeffrey Epstein with over $1 billion, the biggest backer of abusers of kids is the Catholic Church. Guys, in just 2 decades, the Catholic Church spent $5 billion settling credible allegations of sexual abuse of minors. That's insane. But when you are a millionaire, priest running a foundation generating millions of dollars, you feel invincible. Okay, Julio Grassi was the kind of priest who made the Catholic Church look good. In 1993, he founded Felices los Niños in Argentina, a foundation that ended up helping over 6,000 street children across 21 cities. It provided real homes, food, and education to children who genuinely had nothing. And Grassi was the face of all of it. TV personality, celebrated charity figure, National Radio Award winner, the whole package. The kind of man who gets invited to speak at things, which made what was happening behind closed doors so much crazier. Grassi had been abusing boys between 11 and 17 years old inside the very foundation he built to protect them. In 2002, a television expose blew the whole thing open, and he was arrested. 17 counts involving 3 minors aged 9, 13, and 17. He got 15 years. The Catholic Church appealed the sentence, trying to get it reduced. That didn't work. And then in 2016, the court actually added 2 more years when investigators discovered he'd been stealing from the foundation's funds the entire time. So be careful who you confess your uncleanliness to, cause they might come for you at night. Now, if you are one to explore some of the darkest corners of the internet, you've probably come across stories from the staff of billionaires describing the insane things these people do to gratify themselves.
During the job interview, the chief officer actually asked me, am I morally okay with who this person is and what he's done, and you kind of just have to ask yourself, am I okay with it?
And a lot of it happens on their yachts, where they have complete control, complete privacy, and absolutely no one to answer to. Like when the Saudi prince invited 150 girls but tested them for STDs before letting anyone set foot on his $560 million yacht. Crazy, but at least those weren't minors. Now, let's talk about the billionaire pedos. We all know who this is, and he might just go down as one of the most shocking cases of a billionaire pedo ever. But I won't waste any time talking about his wealth, his connections, or even Donald Trump. Let's zoom in on how this guy specifically targeted kids. So before anything else, you have to know that the whole operation was structured. He had a disgusting way of paying his victims between $200 and $1,000 to go back into their friend groups and recruit other girls for him. So his victims got him new victims. And when you are a billionaire, you have plenty of $200 bills to throw around. Now, how about recruiting kids? Here's the part that most people actually don't know. Ghislaine Maxwell was actively helping him target minors from poor or unstable homes. Girls who had lost a parent, girls carrying trauma, children who were less likely to have anyone fighting in their corner. Maxwell would initiate contact herself, and she was calculated about it. Like, she approached a 14-year-old girl at a summer camp and casually started asking personal questions about her family. Not because she cared, but to figure out exactly how vulnerable this child was. These two were literally out here scouting middle schools, performing art schools, and local parks in neighborhoods like West Palm Beach, specifically looking for kids that nobody would come looking for. Other kids were bought and sold on the black market. And once they had them, this dude would load these minors onto his private jet and fly them between his private island, Little St. James, and his ranch in New Mexico, filming everything for himself. The scale of it was insane. At least 136 women have come forward, all abused as minors. Now, get ready because we are about to talk about the Millionaire team doctor who abused 265 women and girls and bagged himself a 175-year sentence, all the while wearing a white coat and calling it medicine. So, Larry Nassar had a gift. The man was genuinely good at his job, good enough to become the official physician for the United States women's gymnastics team, good enough to treat Olympic gold medalists. He was considered the best of the best, and he used every single second of that trust. For 22 years, Nassar sexually abused young athletes while pretending he was treating them. You see, his victims included the most decorated gymnasts in American history. We're talking Michaela Maroney, Ali Reisman, Simone Biles, and Gabby Douglas. Maroney said he started abusing her at 13. And when she finally told an FBI agent about it in explicit detail, the agent falsified her statement and did nothing. That's the part that makes this case uniquely monstrous. Nassar didn't just have a white coat. He had the FBI, Michigan State University, and USA Gymnastics all looking the other way simultaneously. The first complaint was filed in 1994. He wasn't stopped until 2016. And this incompetence led to 70 additional girls being abused during the FBI's delay alone. Over 150 women delivered victim impact statements over 7 days in court. The judge told him, "I just signed your death warrant." He got 175 years. To be clear, that's 7 generations in prison. And Michigan State paid $500 million to its victims. The FBI agents who buried the case, he was fired from the FBI. Hey, billionaire pedos or something else. This British-American billionaire, called Robert Miller, is one of the most disturbing cases in modern history. So, while Miller was building one of the largest electronics distribution companies on the planet, investigators found out something scary. Not one incident, not 2, but allegations stretching across decades. And you wouldn't believe what else the prosecutors said. Miller had apparently been seeking out girls as young as 11 and 14 years old. Allegedly, and honestly, the way it worked reads less like a scandal and more like a well-planned logistics operation. Recruiters would approach young girls with promises of money, gifts, luxury trips, the kind of bait that's near impossible for a teenager to even process properly. And once contact was made, the system kept moving like it was designed to. For decades, Miller sold himself as the respectable billionaire businessman leading a harmless life, the kind of guy who shows up on most successful entrepreneurs lists. Then the charges came, dozens of them. And for a moment, it looked like the whole thing might finally go to court. But then something strange happened. He's now bedridden with Parkinson's, and his lawyers say he's too sick to stand trial. Now, isn't that convenient? But have you noticed that the more elections a man wins, the harder it becomes to hold him accountable? because Silvio Berlusconi damn near turned that into an art form. Now, this Italian billionaire built the largest private broadcasting empire in Italy, bought AC Milan. Yes, the Italian football club, became prime minister 4 times. And he was generous, charming even, the kind of man who filled stadiums and won elections with a smile. But somewhere in between all of that, he threw sex parties at his villa with underage girls like it was the most normal thing to do. You see, out of all the ways a man can abuse power, few are as unapologetic as this one. This dude didn't just break the rules, he rewrote them, literally. Once in office, his government passed laws that shortened prosecution time limits on various offenses. His own offenses. Trials just disappeared into thin air. And when his wife publicly announced she was divorcing him because he was dealing with minors, he didn't deny it, and famously said, "I'm no saint. You all know that," when he was questioned about his obsession with young women. Finally, let's talk about the millionaire royal dork that got really popular due to this photo from the Epstein file. Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, because the loser isn't a prince anymore. So this is a guy who had access to an insane amount of wealth, multiple residences across the UK, a full staff built around his every need, and a direct line to the most powerful people on Earth. But they say give a pedo everything, and he'll still want the one thing he shouldn't: other people's kids. Now you see, while many ladies were dreaming of when he would make them a princess, the news hits. This failure faced a whole lot of backlash from his association with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. But even before that, he was doing well for himself as a pedo prince. Now, the case we are about to discuss is really sad. You see, in 2021, a girl, Virginia Giuffre, filed a lawsuit in New York accusing Andrew of sexually abusing her on 3 occasions in 2001 when she was 17. And everyone was like, "What? A prince can have who he wants? That can't be." Then they discovered, yeah, could be. So Giuffre had a foundation, and Andrew wanted to shut her up, so he told her to take $12 million. That's roughly $15 million. Then he wired the money to her foundation. Guess what? Giuffre kept quiet. That was in February 2022. By April 2025, she killed herself. Now tell me who had the most shocking story in the comments. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.